What it is, y'all, it's your old boy Pilk, and I'm coming back today with more Danmachi. Today we're going to talk about Familia Royale, boss number 1. If you're not familiar, basically, unlike Rush, these are going to open every couple of days. So, like Saturday, this is going to open. Monday, this is going to open. You have some time to prepare, but we're going to cover each one as they emerge. So, enemy number 1 is really interesting. We talked about this the other day, and I'm going to bring up the sheet here. Basically, you want Earth magic units and worm killers if at all possible. Okay? Notice that every other element except for Thunder is neutral. Thunder is up 50. Physical is also up 50, so like physical attacks and thunder attacks are completely ineffective. Gotta use magic, gotta use Earth, and if they're worm killers, that makes it even better. The big caveats to this, they're going to inflict you with stun, they're going to inflict you with poison. I'm going to show you how to handle both of those situations. But here's the big problem. They're going to also increase physical and magic resistance, as well as AoE and single target resistance. Now, you shouldn't be using single target. You really do need to be using AoE, but let's take a look at the team here, and I'll kind of explain. This is not an optimal team. Now, I will emphasize, this is absolutely not an optimal team. But if you take the, I guess, if your takeaway from this is how to address the event, you're probably on the right path. So the way I built my team, at least for tonight's fight, to get my scores today, is I'm first kicking it off with Hive for the SA gauge charging, as well as healing and the buff replication. All the above is super important. Now, sometimes we use Line in this spot, but I did find that these foes do hit pretty hard. It's actually a bit shocking how hard they do hit sometimes. They were actually, funny enough, everyone else was on the team was fine. Belle kept getting wiped out, so I've got Belle here on the backside. We'll talk a little bit about what's going on with that situation here in just a moment. But I do have Aphrodite in slot number 2. Now, Aphrodite's going to leave turn 2, and in will come this... also, I'm going to call her Alicia unit. Alicia's going to come in turn 2, and then something really interesting is going to happen. I'll kind of explain that when we get to it. But the main thing with everyone else is you want to pay attention to SAs. Now, eventually in slot 2, Alicia's going to leave. We'll cover all that here when we get into the fight. And then Belle's going to come in. Belle is an Earth attack damage unit, plus 100% on SA. And I'll also explain here in a moment why SAs are so important. But no, the Belle's here for his SA, and that is the Earth attack damage 100%. Haruhime does magic attack damage and the physical attack damage 120%, so everyone on the team is going to get magic attack 120 and Earth attack 100. So it's going to be like the best possible situation. Then we have the SA with Fia. The new Fia unit does Ultra Earth attack damage with temporary great magic boost, Ultra penetration rate, and magic resistance down 60%. That's the big one. That's the main reason she is here. Then finally, we're going to use Lily. Now, Lily has no bonds. In fact, I haven't even max ascended Lily just because I don't know how many situations outside of what we're going to be doing here in which I'm going to actually use her. So I really don't want to put any hero lights in her if I can avoid it, right? Hopefully that makes sense. But her SA is a 90% damage per self magic buff skill. Now, there's two ways to go about this. The way I've chosen to, which is probably not the correct way, I've actually gone with Alikitsune here. She's going to do light attack damage and earth attack damage plus 25%, so we're going to get those buffs. She also does self, strength, and magic plus 20%. Nice boost there, but the thing to bear in mind here is she only does 498 on magic attack, so we want a little higher magic attack on our units here. Now, the big thing with her, though, is that that skill there, that 20% strength and magic, is pretty nice. We're going to go ahead and sack Ali. Ali's going to bolster, basically bolster SA gauge charge as well as counter rate. That's kind of her big thing. Now, unfortunately, Lena is not max limit broken. I wish she was, but she is still going to be pretty good. She's going to do earth resist and guard resist down 15%. With a poison resistance of 75%. Now, if she's max limit broken, that would be 100. That means anybody that's on the team right now is going to get 75% poison resistance. Would be 100 if she was max limit broken. Alas, she is not, and I don't want to put Prism Bonds in here because I kind of feel like we're on the cusp of getting an Earth Resistance 25% unit, or maybe even another 20% unit because she's 20% at max limit break. So I don't want to put the resources into her at the moment, so I'm going to wait, and she's just going to kind of do her thing. Plus, Fia isn't going to get nerfed, I guess, for lack of a better way to put it, too badly because of this. Now, I'll come back to Lily here in a moment. Aphrodite Assist is going to be all about AoE damage, and then Hermes is all about the magic resistance, okay? Now, that takes us back to Lily. Lily is our DPS. Remember, Lily's all building up to that big attack, but it requires her to have a magic boost. So, the only real magic boosts on the team at the moment are the one on Alakitane, which is a self-boost for Haruhime. I actually probably, in hindsight, should move that over to Fia, so I'm going to actually do that. Let's go ahead and do this by party, and I'll swap Alakitane onto Fia, because Haruhime is not a damage producer. She's just a buffer. It's not going to be that big of a deal. Plus, with all of her stats, she could probably sustain more hits than Fia can, so I'm going to kind of make that judgment call right there. So, but here's the deal. Lily, even though she's only level 60, is our DPS. That 90% damage is going to be vital. That's going to be per magic buff skill. So, she's going to get a magic buff on the adventurer side from her, basically from Haruhime. Then, on the assist side, she's going to get a magic buff from this Eyes. Now, here's where I say there's two ways to go about this. For me, I'm using Eyes because I want to get this in as fast as possible. There's two ways you can accrue score in Familia Royale. One, beat the foe quickly. Two, hit them with a really solid hit. Your biggest hit and your speed are the two factors that come out to equate to the final score. So, if you're slow and if you're not hitting hard, you're not going to get a very good score. If you're fast and you're hitting stupid hard, you're going to get a great score. Now, she does both. SA gauge charge gain 111%, so we're going to build up to a quad SA extremely fast. Strength magic and dex 25% basically means she's going to have the highest magic stat of anyone there. The downside is her magic stat isn't the greatest at 487, but it's not terrible. There are units out here, case in point. I believe Hermes is like in the 700s. Yeah, 727. Here's the deal. The most recent raid that we received in the game does have a 25% magic boost. But here's the deal. When she dropped, and I was very vocal about this, it's so rare that we get that we are in situations where we need that magic boost. Like Familia Royale is about the only time, that and maybe some Record Busters, where that really is beneficial. So at the moment, it's kind of like, we can kind of chill. We can kind of, wait, bide our time, and then attack with her. If I had Ray fully max limit broken, no brainer. Ray deserves a spot on this team. In fact, I could probably kick Hermes off and then put Ray on there, or maybe somebody else. It's real hard to say. I'd have to have that build really, but honestly, probably swapping Hermes for Ray would be a smarter situation, and then put Ray on Lily. But I digress. Or actually, even Ray right there might even be good than Hermes on Lily or something. There's a way to build this team out like that. It's just, this is how we're going to do it for now, because I think this is going to be fast. And I think with that 25% on Lily, we're going to get a good hit. So, if you could take away from that, let's go ahead and jump into the battle.
Moments later.
So there's one element of this I completely forgot to mention, and I'm going to go ahead and throw it in here. Memoria. And Memoria is really important in this. So, if I get to come up here, there we go. What I've done is I've got the Memoria on here for the late game magic buff. Because remember, everything's about that late game attack, okay? So we've got the late game magic buff. Turns 8 through 15, we're getting magic plus 6%. Equally, earth attack damage, 6%, turns 6 through 10. Once again, we're doing RSAs basically in that realm. The other thing that's really critical here SA gets charge gain 44% on turn 6. That's basically going to ensure that we have our SAs as we need them. Because otherwise, if I don't have that, there's actually a very high likelihood that I'm going to get to my turn where I need my SAs and not have them. Ask me how I know. Now, there's a slight gamble here. There might be a couple of jump cuts to make sure I get what I need to get, but I'll explain it all here real quickly. So, turn 1, Haruhime is going to do her skill 1. No brainer, right? SA gauge charging makes a ton of sense. Aphrodite skill 1, 35% AoE damage. No brainer, makes complete sense. Fia gets a bunch of debuffs, buffs, and extra actions. Her big thing is probably your skill 2, but these extra actions help out a huge amount. So we're skill 1 there, and same with the extra actions on Lily, skill 1 once again. So skill 1 across the board with this team. Now I want to emphasize, that's this team. Your team build might differ slightly, so just make sure you know how your units work and in what order for your units to do their thing. Now, obviously you saw there that Aphrodite left turn 1. I've got the revolving amulet on her. She's gone. Alicia came in. Now, this is where the gamble really begins. I need Alicia to last until the next turn, and what I've got on her is I've got an item, a weapon, called the War Princess's Ear Cuff. It's actually technically not a weapon necessarily, but it's on the weapon screen. And what that's going to do is that's going to cut her health down by, in this case, 60%. Anything more than that, I found she dies too quickly. So I have her health cut down to 60%, so she's at like 1,300, actually 1,337, lol, health. So she is in a state right now where she could take tons and tons and tons of damage. And that's perfect. I want her basically to get to the next turn, do her SA, and then leave. That's her whole point. That's her whole goal. That's why she exists. I'll explain why when I get over there. But Haruhime, skill 2. Gonna do a bunch of buff replication. Pretty straightforward. Shouldn't have to explain that. She's gonna go and do her skill 1 because she gets some buffs on this skill. That's really about it. It's like I could do the self buff for her and then get a little tiny bit of damage next turn, or I could do the all-round buff for her and improve our long-lasting units a little bit better. So I'm gonna do her skill 1 and just give those little improvements over there. Fia is gonna do her skill 2. Skill 2, the main thing you need to know, these units are gonna buff physical resistance, magic resistance, AoE resistance, and single target resistance. She's going to remove the magic and the AoE resistance with her skill 2, so it is absolutely necessary. Lily is also going to go skill 2 because that's her big damage AoE skill. Makes sense, right? She's our DPS. We want her to produce damage whenever possible. Now, the downside is you'll notice here that Lily... Ooh.
More moments later.
Okay, so you saw there on the last attempt how Alicia died on turn 2. And that happens. That could be a thing. The skill flow I'm building, though, is kind of relying on her to survive to turn 3. So this isn't always going to be successful. That's the important part of setting skill flow and spamming this. Getting the right runs out is incredibly important. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It will not happen every time. Simply put, that's just the way I built my team. But now, we're on turn 3. Now, you will notice that, as I was saying before, that Lily and Fia are not taking enough damage. They're not getting countered enough, or they're not getting out their counters, which is problematic. But do remember that their single target damage is debuffed. So I don't know if it's going to make that much of a difference. Maybe a tiny bit of a difference, but I in my heart of hearts don't think it's enough to matter. So we now know how turn 2 works. The main thing to understand here is I hear a lot of you guys saying, but if you get Haruhime's skill 1 out, you will get a little bit more SAH charge. Factual. But in my experience, Alicia will never die. She will never, ever, ever, ever take enough damage on turn 3 to be out of the picture just because Haruhime's defensive buff. So I'm going to stick with Haruhime's skill 2 here. Alicia's going to do her SA now. She does earth resistance down 60%. I want to emphasize here. She does magic resistance down 60%. That means that by the time that Lily is doing her her essay, that we should have 60% magic resistance, 60% earth resistance down, and earth and magic should all be buffed on Lily. Lily should be stacked to the moon and our opponent debuffed as far as they can go. And then Lily does her attack. And when that happens, they should be absolutely annihilated. We should get some really solid hits out. So, Alicia, SA. Haruhime, skill 2. I'm going to go back and do skill 1 with Fia, because you'll notice that the magic and AoE defensive buff are gone. And I'm going to keep doing skill 2 with Lily, because that is, once again, her best skill. So, get this SA off here. Slight change from the last run, but on this turn, Alicia should get wiped out. She's at half health. She's just got to take one hit, and she's done. And then Belle comes in. Now, that doesn't mean next turn that I'm going to need to do a defensive buff on Belle with Haruhime, but Belle needs the SA gauge charge anyway, so we're going to do skill 1 with Haru. Now, Belle's skill 1 is a waste. Literally, Belle, we're just going to spam skill 2. There's no point in the skill 1 whatsoever. Skill 2 is just going to be a spammable skill for Belle. I'm going to have to keep an eye on the defensive buff here, but honestly, I think I'm going to keep doing skill 1 for Fia, and for Lily, you'll notice that Snow Star Power, literally almost called that Snowpiercer, so it's a whole different animal. Snow Star Power is set to 2 turns left. Remember, when it's 1 turn left, we need to rebuff that. So you'll notice that we're setting this up for next turn, but never mind. Skill 1, skill 2, skill 1, skill 2. Let's go. Now, the SAH charge buff on Belle is super duper important. And remember, when I showed you guys the Memoria that we're using, I said all of this is a major factor in the end game, and you'll see why here in a moment. So Haruhime is going to go back to Megiri. That means that all of our debuffs still in play. Remember I said the buffs got re-implemented? We're going to do skill 2 with Fia. They're gone. We're going to do skill 1 with Lily. Rebuff that. Now, Belle, once again, skill 2. We never really deviate from that. Belle's always skill 2. So we got skill 2, skill 2, skill 2, skill 1. Hopefully this is starting to make sense. Bam. Now, the only downside to this is going to kind of prevent me from using Haruhime's SA, most likely. I think, honestly, we're just going to get to a triple SA and probably call it. I think our opponent's going to be, like, basically begging for mercy by that point. But that's okay. That's part of the speed factor in this. Plus, Haruhime's defensive buff or SA gauge charge and all that more than makes it worthwhile, in my opinion. In my opinion. Now, I'm going to go do skill 3 with Haruhime. I feel like we're going to need some more... I feel like we're going to need some more MP. And the buffs and debuffs should all be good for a while. So I'm not really worried about it. Notice everything's good here. 1 turn with MP, we're not going to miss that. So I'm going to go ahead and do her skill 3, because her skill 3 does 10% MP heal on all allies. Pretty straightforward stuff. Like, it's a no-brainer, right? Belle skill 2. Fia's going to go back to skill 1. And Lily's going to go back to skill 2. And I apologize. I got the... I have a sneeze on deck, and it's just killing me. So, hopefully I can make it to the end of the recording before that thing goes off. So, it's driving me nuts. So, now we're on turn 7, and you can kind of see with the SAH charge buff that we got from the Memoria, we're good to go here. It's going to drive me crazy, I swear. Anyway. Soldier on. So, Haruhime, skill 2. We're going to need the buffs backing in. Belle always skill 2. And let's see. Did they rebuff? They did rebuff. So we're going to go do skill 2 with Fia, and we're going to keep skill 2 with Lily. Let's go. Now the goal here is at the end of this turn we should have a triple SA. And our foe should be low enough in health that we should be able to wipe them out next turn. So will we eke over the triple? Sadly, no. Sadly, no. That's okay. Where did we fail? I feel like somebody at some point, maybe Belle went ahead of Haruhime, because that is a fast skill. So in hindsight, perhaps skill 1 would help out. But let's go ahead and soldier on one more time. We're just going to continue down this path. I'm even going to let Fia continue to do skill 2 just to make sure that those buffs don't come back in play. Here we go. And we're going to do a triple on this turn. Now, I do feel like maybe if Belle did skill 1, we'd have had something a little bit better. But you know what? Next turn we'll get a quad. I'm debating what the difference would be. So let's go ahead and just do this one more time. Now we'll do a triple. Triple should end this, and getting it done a turn earlier will help. So let's go ahead and do that. Does mean, unfortunately, we are going to lack a little bit of damage on Lily, but I think we'll be fine. We got a 3.4 mil out of Fia, so hopefully we get something even better than that out of Lily. Let's see what Lily does. Got some good numbers out of Lily, actually. Remember, she's level 60, so any bonds, any ascension, any more I put into her is just gravy. So let's take a look at the score. 13 mil. If we go to score details, it'll say battle turn 9 is 140% bonus. Highest damage is 4.5 mil. Good numbers. And then you just add all that together and it comes out to 13 mil. Though, I could get this a turn earlier, probably get another 10% up there. That give me up to 150% and maybe get more damage out. So, I'm going to tweak mine a little bit here, but hopefully you start to see how you can go about this. I really feel like if I just do some minor tweaks to this, I could probably get a turn 8 kill, and with a triple SA and with all that other stuff. So, hopefully this gives you guys an idea. Now, I'm looking probably at, with a level 60 Lily, probably 15, maybe top 16 mil. But that should tell you what a level 80 unit fully ascended can do. So, really depends upon what the kind of numbers you want to get out. But Lily is definitely, without question, the best unit for the job, even at level 60. Because you notice that max limit broken Fia couldn't even touch her. That 90% bonus is so important. So, let me know what you guys thought down in the comment section down below. Let me know what kind of numbers you guys got. And let me know any feedback you have on this. Catch you guys in the next one.